All right, 18 minutes after 3 o'clock on this Thursday. Welcome back in. It's the postgame show. Alongside Terry Ford, I'm Jay Phillips. And Julia Westerman is here hanging out with us for the rest of the 3 o'clock hour. So we'll talk with her about what it's really like to work with Rick Henry on a regular basis. You know, I did that a long time ago. So Rick's awesome. He was here, when was he here? 2 weeks ago? Does that sound right, Terry? 3?
Who?
Rick.
Rick who? Who is this Rick guy?
I think it was 2 weeks ago.
I hope he's listening right now.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Just a few weeks ago.
Hi, Rick.
But remember, no, some people come over to see us and sit in studio, and some people call on the phone.
Yeah, Rick used to come down.
You know, we like the
just
people
down the
who
street,
show up
Rick.
better.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, Rick and I, we swap stories. Y'all are like out in the open now where y'all do your sports stuff. But back in the day, when I used to work down there was like a sports nook way off in the back, and nobody ever bothered anybody.
I hear about the Sports Nook often.
Yeah. So Daggett and Rick were back there, and
The Sports Nook.
Yeah.
What kind of things happen in the Sports Nook?
well,
Jay,
that was
day?
the only time I ever heard
that was before my time.
That's right.
the amazing Joe Daggett, who I learned so much from. And I mean, Joe was amazing, but that's when I'd never heard Joe cuss until he talked about not liking boiled peanuts.
Oh.
And he
let it loose?
Oh man! And I was like, wow, you really don't like boiled peanuts.
Right. You know, if you think about this for a minute, if you've never heard someone cuss, and you're going, okay, what would be the reason they would cuss? Nobody would go boiled peanuts.
Boiled peanuts, but it
Would not
was
be boiled peanuts.
it was Joe
That
Daggett.
would be the
man.
last thing on my list.
Yes.
Yeah. And no, but it was great. But that was a good time. But we're glad Julia's here. Before we talk to Julia about a lot of things, we also want to check in with our good friend Elijah Campbell, who's not in Williamsport. Terry wanted to lie and say you were in Williamsport. And then what I said was somebody's going to call from where you are in Irmo and then call us liars. So I did the right thing. How you
No,
doing?
dude, you could have totally pulled off that lie. I had tons of confidence in you.
Well, unfortunately for us, for all of us, there's video evidence of me being in that same studio that you are in right now, not 9 hours ago. So it would be really difficult unless I use my private jet that I totally have to get to Williamsport.
The Campbell family jet.
But you are where you are for a reason, and so let's fill everybody in on that because the game is underway.
Yes, the game is underway. We're only half an inning in. I'm at Carolina Wings right now here in Irmo on Valentine, 1000 Marina Road. We're having a nice little watch party. I'm sitting here. Leo from B106 chilling here with me, doing some killer commentary on this game. Jeannie's here. She's got T-shirts. So if you love free T-shirts and you just don't even want to watch the game, but you want to come by and get a free T-shirt, like we got a few on the table for you to stop by and get. And then you can also stop by, grab a drink, eat some wings, watch some baseball as the kids from Irmo just got on base. First base hit of the game. So we got it going on right now. Jamie's pumped. Jamie saw that base hit, and I'm about to have to pull him down from the table right now. He's about to rage in this building.
Well,
we're having a lot of fun.
I don't know if you're going to like what I'm getting ready to say, but I found myself needing a shower when I finished doing some research today. But Bovada USA has a line on this game.
Oh, stop.
And Irmo is minus 210. I was
So did you bet the money line, Jay?
no, well, but I was like, seriously? Then I read an article about why there's a couple of sports books. They said they had so much interest from customers. I'm like, what kind of customer wants to bet on this? But then I did the Big J journalism, Elijah, that we talk about, and I was like, all right, well, what's the daggum line? So Irmo is the minus 210 to win this game.
They still got you to read it, and they still got you to put it on air.
Yep. And by the way, now your computer, what'd you look it up on?
Yeah, I don't think, yeah.
You know you're kind of crappy
right?
your computer
I know,
now.
right?
You know what's coming?
Yeah. The feds.
Yes, they'll be showing up.
Mr. Phillips, problem with your computer system?
Yeah, we've been looking over the history of your computer,
Well, they will
sir.
not. They will not. I assure you, with every fiber of my being, as Vito Corleone says, on the souls of my grandchildren, I did not place a wager on today's game. All right, we'll check in with Elijah throughout the afternoon. Yeah, he's right though. Very early, just the first inning. Irmo has a kid on base, right? Yeah, one base, no out, bottom one. So, again, out at Carolina Wings, 1000 Marina Road in the Irmo Ballantyne area. Go see Elijah and Leo and eat some wings, and we'll see what happens.
All right, appreciate you,
All
man.
right, we'll check in a bit.
Thank you, Bob.
Bye, gang.
All
All right, that's Elijah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did. I don't know. See, again, in our job, right? Like we ask questions.
That's what we do.
And I don't know why I'll tell you how I got to this. I was like, is there a way for me to just kind of figure out like who they think is better? Like, because I don't know. Are all these teams basically seen as equals when they make it to Williamsport? I mean, do you just know that there's, because sometimes, and I'm serious about this, there's some 12-year-old kid out there, and you're like when LeBron was 12. I know it's not the same sport, but when
He
LeBron
looked
was
25.
12,
He had a beard, mustache, he had kids, he drove a car.
but
Yeah.
somebody might have said, you know what? He's going, or like, I mean, Bryce Harper and Ken Griffey made the majors at 19. When they were 12, they were probably really good at baseball.
Oh,
They didn't go to Williamsport, but I'm just saying.
Well, remember that kid Danny Amante was like 20, 30 years old,
but he
pitching
was-
Little League World
but-
Series that
but
one year?
I think he was actually like
Fake ID.
14 or 15.
Hey, Danny, why don't you bring your kids over to the?
Which was kinda
Yeah,
sad.
exactly.
But anyway, so we'll keep you updated on what's going on. Irmo now has 2 on.
I'm just wondering though, what goes through your mind when you decide to wager on the Little League World Series?
I don't want to know.
That's the thing, yeah. That's why I said I felt like I needed a shower. I was like, you know what, Jay? You went down the wrong rabbit hole.
Because even like because when you hear these gambling experts go, it's Bet ESPN or whatever, they've got like deep dive analytics on everything. Is there some guy going, I'll tell you what, I watched every 12-year-old baseball game
Well,
there was
yeah,
this
exactly.
year.
That's the thing is who's following them to know this?
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, what bookmaker? Again, is it Skippy the lunchroom boy that works at the sports book? Hey, Skippy, you know what you're doing today?
You could go break down 12-year-old baseball,
watching,
buddy.
You're watching the
Some
Little League
summer intern.
regionals so that when they get to Williamsport, we got odds. Okay, boss.
Man,
Skippy's like 13. I was
Yeah.
like, I just got off my Little League team anyway.
I played against a lot of those guys.
So,
So
all right.
yeah.
Anyway, there you go.
Oh, man.
All right. Again, Julia Westerman hanging out with us here in the studio for the rest of the 3 o'clock hour. Terry and I posed a question. I want your take on it.
Okay.
And we'll try to be serious here as best we can possibly do, which is hard for us. But I've been doing this for a while. I'm not trying to be a smartass, but it's day 219-ish of the Rasul Faison watch. And what I asked today is, as we now are basically, 2.5 weeks from the start of the season, at what point, if they haven't already gotten there, do Shane and Mike Shula and Markel Blackwell have to go, listen, Rasul, we can't give you equal reps with the others. At some point, does he get relegated down the line so that the guys they know will be playing? And you got to work Isaiah Augustavi into this. Do you have to lessen his snaps, if you will? What's your take on
It's
what
a
they might
fine
have to do?
line. It's a fine line because if you make that decision now, what day is it today? The 14th. They play in about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's a fine line where if you decide, hey, we got to move on without you, you got to make sure everybody else is ready to go. But then what if they decide, hey, you can have him. You're free to play. And then you kind of dialed back on those reps for 2 weeks. What do you do in that situation? But then on the other side, if you continue to give him that much work in comparison to everybody else, and you can't have him.
Right.
So it's a very fine line, and it's kind of been hard to decipher exactly what they're doing because we've seen them in practice in the 4 practices we were able to go to, and except, of course, not the first one.
Yeah.
But you see them there, and they're talking about how they're with everybody, splitting up reps with everyone. So it's kind of hard to figure out what exactly they're doing. What I think, I'm not really sure because this has been such a convoluted situation that you can't really understand where they're going with this, both on the NCAA side and then what South Carolina's supposed to do.
And Terry and I made mention that Shane, had to play nice the other day. Like, we know they have a hard job up there in Indianapolis.
Mm-hmm.
And I know some of that's true,
Yeah.
but
But
there's
at the same
another
time-
line to draw.
But why is this one getting so drawn out? What are they still looking for? What do they still need? Why have there been no updates? I think that's what gets me because you look at Pavia, who started this rule.
Right.
His was quick.
Right.
Got that straight through. Nobody knows why. But then you look at this situation, and it's like, why would this one be dragged out as much as it has been? 219 days is crazy to hear. I don't think I'd calculated that, but
I mean,
that's unreal.
That's the thing. Okay, so whatever's going on here, 219 days is asinine.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest. What if you took 219 days to make decisions? I mean, come on.
I wouldn't have a job.
Exactly. I wouldn't know what underwear to put on. I mean, it's just like you sit there and make decisions all the time. And that's why this thing, look, I get maybe there's some somebody lost a piece of paper or somebody did something. This shouldn't be this hard,
No.
right, guys? This shouldn't be this hard. Make a decision, good, bad, whatever, and just have a process. They don't seem to know what that word means with the NCAA, and that's what I think just makes me shake my head. It really does.
Well, and the weird perspective for us is we keep just talking about the same thing all the time.
Yeah.
There's no
Absolutely.
new developments.
Right.
You still got to talk about it because it's still happening, but you talk about the same thing 3 times a week.
Right.
Yeah.
And I feel bad for Rasul
Yeah.
because he's having to sit through this whole thing.
Well, that's the person who's going to affect most. Jay and I have been talking about it. He loses a year of his football life.
Yeah, because you can't get back anything with the NFL. If you they decide he can't play this year, what are his options? The CFL? Or one of the spring football leagues?
Yep.
Yeah, I
Just to
guess
find something
I would
to
think,
do?
yeah, I
We'll
would
go
think the
spring football.
Yeah.
spring football league is probably the best because I mean, the Grey Cup is actually soon, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
they're
then
in.
that's not an option
Yeah,
either.
so-
So, you hope in that case that you can go ball out for a spring team
Yeah.
and then make an easy transition. But you hear about all the stuff about, a potential lawsuit. It's like, yeah, you're losing a whole year of your life.
Well, and we got some thoughts on that too. I want to get to because there's another case, and we mentioned this a little bit earlier. There's another case out there that had at least a temporary ruling that feels like Rasul's, but there are differences. Julia Westerman hanging out with us here from WIS Sports. Jay and Terry on this Thursday. We're back on the postgame show. All right, Griffin Pools and Spas, family owned and operated since 1976. You know what your yard looks like without a pool. Now I want you to close your eyes and envision what your yard could look like with a pool. Well, that's what Griffin does. They bring those visions and dreams to life with custom pool design, an aggressive commitment to scheduling. In other words, when it's time to start and it's time to finish, they want to make those things happen for you. Top quality construction. They want to minimize the disruptions to your life. As I've said many times, they are digging a big giant hole in your yard and all the things that go with it, but you know why. They have fantastic saltwater pools that are so easy to take care of, low maintenance equipment installation. They're with you from start to finish. And it doesn't matter what time of year, because around here you can swim for a while. And you get it heated, you're in good shape. 803-957-2121. Just steps away from the Lake Murray Dam in Lexington and always online at griffinpoolsandspas.com. All right, 26 minutes in front of 4 o'clock here on this Thursday afternoon.
We got runs, man.
Yeah, I see that.
How about that?
So, what, at least, was it 2, 3?
It was 2 with runners on second and third for South Carolina. We'll see what's up here.
Okay. Well, they just went to commercial, so I guess that was it.
Some guy's writing on the infield.
But Irmo is playing a team from Massachusetts in the opening round of the Little League World Series.
2-0.
2-0.
Now again, I remind, when you laid the bet, did you take South Carolina or did you take Massachusetts?
If you just tuned in, again, the journalist in me, which doesn't often come out, I'm a talk show host after all. I was trying to find out if they, not when I say handicap this, like, is there something online at because ESPN, it's been all about this for decades, and they really didn't. They had kind of previews, but they don't, now. And then I just the way my mind works, I was like, did they have betting lines on this? And I really, like I said, I'm not disappointed in myself per se. I was just disappointed to learn that there are multiple sports books that put lines on this.
See, I guess here's my first thought is, typically when you go to these sites, you're going to drop a wager. So I'm not going to speak for Julia, but I'm thinking you dropped some cash.
Well,
I guess we'll never know.
Oh no, we have our company. We're following everything he does on his history
Closely.
We will know. We will know.
I appreciate that. Now, as I've said many times, I have bet on sports once in my life. 1997 Final Four. I was in Vegas, 7-1 on the Minnesota Golden Gophers because they were the longest odds, and they lost on Saturday, and I lost $20.
And that was it.
And then my wife later that same day won like $75.
All right.
So the family's up 50, and you retire.
And we went to dinner on that.
Net positive.
There you
great.
go. See, I've said to you, the fact that I work in radio means I can't wager because I had that phone call. Hey, honey, why is someone towing the car out of the driveway? What's going on here? I don't understand.
I would advise against it, but that's just me. You do what you want to do. It's your money. What is the old commercial? It's your money.
Do what you want with it, man.
Do whatever.
Absolutely.
That guy. Julia, beyond the Faison situation, which again we all kind of just wait and figure out. What's been your top storyline to be interested in, to follow, that you don't have an answer to yet, but just, they better do blank?
I think the fact of the matter is we still got 2 more weeks and nothing has an answer yet. And it kind of gets to the point where it's like, okay, I'm ready to just see some football happen and, finally learn what the storylines are going to be. But, of course, you got to cook up something at this point in the year. The obvious answer, is the hype around Lenoris, how he's managing it. I actually like what I'm seeing from, all the conversations that we've had with him throughout the summer and, kind of just tempering his expectations for himself, not trying to get too high or anything like that. So that's been great to see, especially as, this is going to be a big year for the entire state with how much eyes are on both of the quarterbacks at South Carolina and Clemson.
I'm not sure there's ever been as much attention at one time.
That's how I feel. And I mean, this is my 4th year covering both teams, but I mean, even before then, it just seems like this is a big year. So I would say as for, the not direct storyline with Lenoris, I'm really curious to see what the O-line can do. It's obviously something that you want to see improve in order for him to be great. And so got to see what they're able to put out there. I think it'll be really telling in the first couple of games what that's actually going to look like. That's kind of what I've set up for a lot of things, is I want to see all these different position groups do well in the first 3 to 4 games before I make a true assessment of what I think they're going to look like. But that's what I want to see.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about the offensive line way too much. We talk about offensive linemen way too much here. We have, like, you've been here, I've been here about 4 years too.
Yeah.
I think everybody does.
And it's been a thing. Yeah, it's like, because last year, Lenoris made that line look a lot better than it really was.
But they've already talked so much about how they want his role to look different, but in order for his role to be different, the line has to step up.
Right, that whole thing of play from the pocket. It's really easy when you're not ducking and dodging people who want to kill you. Exactly, you need a pocket to throw from.
Maintain the pocket.
Right.
So that'll be curious. That's what I'm most curious about, and obviously on the other side of the ball as well, what the defense is actually going to look like. They've shrugged off we lost everyone narrative. They didn't lose everyone, first of all, but at the same time, you got to wait and see what it's going to look like. But something that I saw today that I thought was really interesting, and I hadn't really put this into perspective, is I saw somebody post online, this time a year ago, nobody knew what Kyle Kennard was about to do.
Demetrius
Knight.
Knight.
Nobody knew what Demetrius Knight was about to do.
No.
And so you're put in this situation of, is there somebody on this defense that people aren't really talking about right now, but could be in the next 8 weeks?
Well, I think that's an excellent point, and I get, for instance, Greg McElroy was on the station the other day, and I suppose defending is a word that he was having to do, with not putting South Carolina on his AP ballot. And I'm like, okay,
I didn't
look,
really get that.
go win football. Yeah, look.
I was asking for something.
Go
in
win
my
football
opinion.
games and see, and he's not the only one that didn't. But we see that Carolina's 13th in both polls. So, okay, take that for whatever it's worth. But his point, at least, I thought, was well taken on, hey, I know what they can be, and I've seen what they were, but I still have these questions. And maybe until these questions on defense are answered, I'm not projecting them to be there. So I thought, again, whether I agree or not is one thing, but at least I thought it was fair. But to the point you just made, that's one of the things we've been talking about a lot this spring and summer. This staff has a proven development track record. And how much now are you getting from them on how much they lean on that?
I think it's very obvious in how much confidence that they have bringing in the transfers that they do every year and how highly they speak about them right off the bat. I mean, we just heard from Faison Henry talking the other day about the offensive line, and he said these freshmen and transfers are bought in. They might not be the people taking the first team snaps, but they want to make this line better. So I like hearing that from the different groups of, hey, the new faces are buying in to what we're selling. And that's what changes the culture. And, culture is such a big thing for Shane Beamer and this team. So it's nice to see how quickly people are able to assimilate. But, of course, you can talk so much about culture. You want to see that culture translate on the field. So that's unfortunately the part that you have to wait for and actually see.
I think the thing that has surprised me the most is not about football, is that Boaz Stanley is one of 11. Like, I can't. I
want to know what they all look like.
I have 4 kids, and I'm like, man, 11.
I know. And are they all that size?
Man,
this is the next big J journalism we need. We need to do.
But
we need to see the whole family.
That food bill.
Oh man.
Wouldn't it be great if he's the biggest and the rest of them are just like normal sized? Were they all about as tall as Gunner?
Or conversely, what if he's the smallest?
Oh, how about that?
Yeah.
They look at him as like the midget of the family. See, Jay, this is where you have to you've already gone down the creepy gambling on Little League World Series.
Just got to lean into it.
Nothing is going to be as uncomfortable as that. So go for it, man. The Boaz Stanley family. Let's go.
Well, we'll work on it. Again, that's just, as Julia just said, Big J journalism. We'll find some of those things out. But one of 11. Again, it's
crazy.
I mean, you and I have 4, and that four's a plenty.
Sometimes 4 is 4 too many with these kids.
You got a whole offensive unit there.
I know. It could go for it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But again, I can't imagine what that food bill is all about. But he, in all seriousness, his stats at Troy are phenomenal.
Yeah, once he went to center,
and you feel like he I don't want to say he just walked, or you got to earn it. It's a step up certainly, but the things he seems to bring are going to be crucial.
Yeah, and it's nice to see, the people with those types of stats who want to take the next step and come to a program like South Carolina where it's not only trying to develop themselves so that they can be better positioned to be taken in the NFL draft, but also, move forward a team that continues to build every single year. We saw exactly what happened with guys like Kennard and Knight last year. It's you bring these people in, they change the program a little bit, they leave, and somebody else does it in the next year. So I think that's what's so interesting in this era of the transfer portal. You talk so much about the negatives, but the positives is someone can come in, play 1 year for a team, and make a huge impact. And so, I would love to see that happen for him this year.
Well, I'll tell you, the other guy is Nick Sharp. Yeah. He was hurt in the spring. He was really good at Wake last year. Now, we don't know. We're not there. We don't know what kind of how the injury translates to the fall or the summer camp. We don't know. But that was a guy. He was really good last year in the ACC, to your point of 1 year transfer guy. So
and in a program that is also dependent upon development.
Yeah.
So a coachable, if you will. So I think that's big. A little bit more with Julia on the Gamecocks, and I'm going to let her share with us how she helped break the internet last night.
She broke the internet last night.
Well, she not alone.
Because I went on it, and it was broken.
Yeah, she helped.
So, Julia, this is your fault.
Yeah, so we
well, last night wasn't my fault, but, I've aided in it before.
Yeah. We'll continue on the postgame show. All right, 11 minutes in front of 4 o'clock here on this Thursday. Welcome back in. Jay and Terry with you. Julia Westerman hanging out with us here in the studio. And Elijah Campbell is out at Carolina Wings in Irmo, 1000 Marina Road, where the Irmo Little League team is currently up 2-0 on a team from Massachusetts as the Little League World Series is underway in Pennsylvania. What's the scene there? Jubilant but pensive? That's what I'm going to guess. Oh, hang on. We'll get Elijah pulled up here in mere moments. Hang on one second. Actually, we might not. Ford's over there busy talking to somebody.
I'm talking to Tyler. We got important conversations.
I was asking Elijah a question, and he wasn't pulled up.
I'm not, because we're not ready for Elijah yet.
Okay. Yeah.
Now we're ready for Elijah.
It's not my show. Elijah,
just go along for the ride, bub. All right?
I'll try again. How's the mood at Carolina Wings?
Well, it's bumping to the degree in which I thought the reason you couldn't hear me is because I'm getting drowned out here. That's what I thought it was at first. But we got the place bumping. It's exciting. Up 2-0. They're about to score again. Don't know if you were keeping tabs on these things.
Oh, we are. We have it on. Yeah. Again, we're big Jay journalists.
Well, Jay bet on this game, so we got to keep up with it.
Hey.
Jay dropped money on this thing.
I'm not going to live that one down. Again, I'm trying to actually rag on the people that would even want to go there, and somehow I've become
one of
the
them.
problem.
Unfortunately, the narrative is shifting before your eyes.
I know, right? Perception becomes reality. All right, well,
we'll already here told me the police are on their way.
Well, we'll let them come. That's fine. Let them come. And then we'll show why it was a waste of taxpayer money. All right, we'll check in with Elijah again in a little bit. Carolina Wings, 1000 Marina Road in the Irmo Ballantyne area, out there as Irmo, technically South Carolina. They're repping the whole state.
They're repping the whole state. Right.
They're South Carolina. And they are taking on a team from Massachusetts. And even more, if you want me to say it, they're Southeast taking on New England.
There you go. Even better.
Yeah, so
bases loaded and nobody out. I believe, Julia, I don't see any little out.
No outs.
Bases loaded, nobody out.
Bases loaded, nobody out.
Before we get a couple of final thoughts, Julia was part of the, over 1.3 million people that tuned in to the Kelsey brothers last night.
Now, this is what I'm really an expert on. So everybody buckle up.
My daughters were watching last night as well.
Yeah.
But Taylor Swift and the Kelseys broke the internet for real.
It was really insightful. Yeah. I honestly think, even if you're not a huge Swiftie or if you're not a huge football fan, it was a good, YouTube podcast video to watch just to see, people be people. It just felt like you were watching a conversation.
I did. The clip I saw was when she kind of broke down, getting her her rights back, and that story drove me crazy. Listen, my daughters love Taylor Swift, and they've seen her in concert, and they went to the Eras tour, and they went even when she was here when she was younger. So I've watched them grow up around who she is and what she is, and she's an amazing talent.
Yeah.
But what's the guy's name? Scooter or something?
Scooter Braun.
Yeah. I mean, this guy's
shall not be named.
He's a real person, Terry, that should be a bad teen rom-com. He'd be the villain.
The bad guy. He'd be the bad guy.
This guy's such a
He's
tool.
a real life villain.
Oh, I'm serious.
First name's Scooter.
Yeah,
Scooter.
right. That should tell you something. But he's a terrible person.
Awful.
But now she has all her music rights back after this guy did some really twisted things.
Have you ever watched those behind the musics back in the day? People get their music rights ripped off from them, and they get no money for it. It's bad.
Well, and she was explaining that really well last night because I don't think a lot of people really understood what that meant.
Right.
And she didn't, for those first 6 albums, I want to say, she didn't at that point have, the masters, which is the recording itself, but she also didn't own her artwork, her music videos, everything like that. So it was really, really, I learned a lot from it, honestly. And, this has been going on for, 2 years now. I come from an interesting perspective of I was raised a Chiefs fan.
Yeah.
So that was my entry. I always liked Taylor Swift, but I wasn't a huge Taylor Swift fan.
Right.
So I came in there from the Travis side, because you're picking sides of the aisle at the wedding.
That's right.
But now, following the whole thing has really given me a good, well-rounded perspective of both sides, and I think it's really cool.
It's a good,
How funny
for as
was
much
Jason
as everybody
Kelsey's
hates.
intro?
Oh, that was so much fun. He does that every episode, and I love it every time, but that one was great. But I think it's, as much as people hate on it, I think it's a great relationship. It's doing wonders for the sport. As a woman in sports, I love it because there's more people learning about the game that I love. So I'm not going to be a hater. I'll be a hater to the people who are haters.
That's how I feel. I'm dead serious. It doesn't bother me one
Can't
bit.
change my mind.
You know,
Why would,
they
here's
show
my thing.
celebrities on TV all the time at games.
Why would it bother
Exactly.
anybody? Just don't watch it.
It's like an average of 47 seconds or something like
Yeah.
that.
Over a 4-hour broadcast.
So
They were
people just-
booing her at the Super Bowl. What are we doing, people?
People just
calm
go
down.
insane. How many shots do we get of people's parents during
Yeah.
games sometimes? Like,
Or
come
some-
on.
People
or
just
somebody's-
like to be bitter. They
Some
wake
random
up
guy
and
in
decide
body
to be
paint.
mean.
I'm
Yeah,
like, all right,
exactly.
thank you, body
I would
paint
rather
guy.
see Taylor Swift than the guy who weighs about 280 pounds, is 5 foot tall, covered in body paint and back hair.
Absolutely.
Let me see Taylor Swift instead.
Absolutely. Julia, thanks for hanging out with us.
Absolutely.
We'll get you in here more often.
Well, she'll walk over and hang with
That's
us.
right.
She's not
I'm
Well,
going
right
I
down the
didn't
road.
realize until she got here. Today's her day off, man, and she
to
still
give her
came
a day
in.
off. Now, see, Reddy, one guy big times us on the phone, but Julia comes over and hangs with us.
On her day
She's real
off.
people.
That's right.
No, I try to be.
We need to get her a 107.5 The Game T-shirt because that's about the best
There we
can
go.
do.
Yeah, that's all we got.
Hour 2 of the post-game show coming up. Thank you, Julia.
Thank you.
All right, 4 o'clock on this Thursday. Welcome back in. Second hour of the post-game show coming at you from the Herndon Chevy Studios in downtown Columbia. Alongside Terry Ford, I'm Jay Phillips. Elijah Campbell is out at Carolina Wings in Irmo as the Irmo Little Leaguers, representing not only South Carolina, but the whole dadgum Southeast.
Yes.
At the College World Series, at the Little League World Series. Maybe some of these guys will be in the College World Series one day. Little League World Series.
Where they're playing, they could be in the College World Series.
Yeah, they are up early 4-0 on a team from Massachusetts, so we won't get too far ahead of ourselves. But certainly it has started well for the Irmo kids. They still are hitting. I think the bases are loaded, 1 out. They are up 4-0, bottom 2.
Then we have a pitching change.
Yeah.
For the New Englanders.
That sounds about right. So there you go. And yeah, I did, like I said earlier, I did find out, sadly, that there are actual betting lines on these games. I don't think I'd ever even had that enter my consciousness before. But again, to be serious for a second, the way I found out, I was like, well, I know Elijah's going to be there, and I know it's a local story. And look, we're not going to sit here and like break down the Little League World Series, even with a bunch of local kids playing. But I was at least intrigued to say, like, hey, like, how good are they? Like, I don't know. I'm just going to be perfectly honest. I mean, I know they beat the same group that won this thing last year down in the regionals. I was like, well, that's cool, but everybody's a year older, and so I'm sure some kids roll off as Little League Baseball, you know. And I just went and looked on ESPN, and as I'm just looking at a couple things, again, my mind, this is how my mind works in terms of prepping for a show every day. And I was like, I felt bad even thinking it. And I was like, I bet that, because there are degenerates that'll bet on anything, man.
Sure.
And so I went and looked. I punched it in Google. I said, are there betting lines on Little League World Series? And the AI pops up and it's like, yes, there. And I was like, oh, God. And then it showed me, and I clicked the link. And then I needed a shower. And it did. It actually, I don't want to get all sanctimonious here, but it did bother me. Oh, grand slam, Terry. Grand slam home run.
Now you got a 6 spot.
My goodness. No, 8.
Hey, is that 8? Oh, it's 4. That's right. 4 and 4 is 8, right? You sure? Check your phone. 8-0.
Yeah, 8-0. Wow.
That's a start right there, man. We get right. Carolina Wings is going insane right now.
I don't know the kid's name, but there's one of the highlights of your life, son. So you got a lot to.
Do you think about that? You go around the bases, you don't feel the ground.
Grand slam.
Grand slam with the Little League World Series. How cool is that?
Yeah. On a
pitch. Yeah, he went down and got it too.
All right, but where was I?
You're not being sanctimonious.
Yeah. I mean, look, again, it's your money. Like I meant that, but at the same time, like it's kind of creepy.
Let me take it a step further, real quick. I get it. You're a book. You only care about making money. But come on, dude, you're putting odds on 12-year-olds.
Yeah, it's just creepy. That's all.
That's the best description of the word. And we were joking the first hour a lot about it, but really, it's creepy.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't intend to go, what's the line on the game?
Well, you're trying to figure out how good they are.
Yeah, I went
that's one way to look,
yeah,
right?
That my mind, it's almost like, like if you write some kind of angry email to your ex or something, and you're like, should I hit send? All right, I had this same kind of trepidation in my mind. I was like, should I go to Google and find out if there are betting lines? I was always hoping, like, I hope there's not. But then I almost thought, like, but I know there's going to be.
Sure.
So, anyway.
You know what? And I see what you were doing because there's so much about gambling now that it is legal in almost 40 states, right? So a lot of times a go-to can be, okay, let me see the line to see who the favorite is. So in your mind, since you don't watch a lot of Little League Baseball on YouTube, you're going, what's the best way for me to find out who's good and who's not? I'll see if there's an actual betting line for a favorite. Me, I would have Googled this. Who are the favorites to win the Little League World Series? Or who are the best teams in the Little League World Series? Yeah. But I see why you went where you, because I never thought in my mind to check.
And again, I went to ESPN first, and then I just again, almost like, oh no. I'm gonna find out here, and I bet I'm not gonna like what I find. But anyway, we'll move on from that.
That's like Googling something like You just go out with a girl and you Google her name in that in the court thing to see if she has any felonies.
Yeah.
You know you don't want to hit
Like,
send.
oh, that's an alias.
You don't want to do that. And then you do it and you're like, I wish I wouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
So now you wish you wouldn't have done that.
I do. I'm really not kidding. I wish I had not. Instead, I wish I'd maybe gone to play golf or something like that. The Game Summer Golf Classic is coming up, though, brought to you by Kreger Showrooms down in the Vista. It's next Friday, a week from tomorrow, 9 a.m. tee time. You can get out there at 7:30, and got the great onion sausage and white bread for breakfast because, man,
so good.
I can just shovel that in. Mimosa Bar from Saki's Wine and Spirits. We'll have Firehouse for lunch. There's prizes and a whole lot more. It's $400 a team, 803-755-2000, and then hit numeral 2. Those are like an automated thing at Charwood.
Getting fancy at Charwood, man.
Yeah. And you'll figure. And you know what? If you have to talk to Rock or somebody out there, they'll
cool. All right.
They'll help
figure
you
it
figure
out.
it out. Yeah.
Kreger Showroom sponsoring it for us, formerly the Nest. We appreciate those folks for sponsoring and to pay our extravagant appearance fees.
Well, apparently the thing that my wife and I just bought helped pay for the sponsor.
That's right. You went and got some of the Kreger Showrooms.
We've gotten 2 things from them. We have our not so new dishwasher anymore. We got that like a year ago. Mm-hmm. Really nice.
That
Bosch.
replaced the old dishwasher, Jay Phillips.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And we bought a wine fridge.
Oh, God, you bought a wine
We
fridge,
did, man. We did. Because we were tired of it. Like, we don't have tons and tons of wine, but we wanted something nice. Mm-hmm. And it was just sitting around in the wrong places. And
well, here's my question. How do you get the boxes in the wine fridge? Just out of curiosity.
I took all the racks out, man. That's easy. Just take the rack out. You got 6 boxes of wine in there.
Hey, honey, I got the boxes.
I got them all in there, darling. Hey, if you like boxed wine, that's cool.
Hey, whatever gets you through.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
You got a good question about Faison.
I did. Yeah. This show's taking a turn.
Let's get back on.
By the way, Jamie hit us on Twitter while Julia was here, and he said, "I just heard the running back was cleared. Let's see if it's just BS." I texted him back or tweeted back, "Someone lied to you. There's been no clearance of Rasul Faison.
Nothing we've heard of at this point.
Maybe coming soon. But what I did ask, again, I'm not joking anymore when I say it, but when I say day 219 of the Rasul Faison watch, what I basically did, for those of you wondering, how did I come up with that number? I just went back to the start of the semester. Mm-hmm. And that's basically where we are, 219-ish.
Yeah.
But what we asked earlier, somewhat rhetorically, there's no right answer for this in terms of the Gamecock coaching staff, but when do Shane Beamer and Mike Shula and Markel Blackwell, Carolina running backs coach, begin to say to Rasul, you're still out here repping at practice, but we got to get Isaiah Augustave up to speed because he wasn't here in the spring and you were. We know Isaiah can play. We know Matthew Fuller can play. We know Juwan Howell can play. We certainly know Oscar Attaway can play. And we don't know if you can play. And we want you to be ready to play. Mm-hmm. But, and I'm not saying they're going to do this. I don't have an answer to my question, but where do you draw the line in beginning to give more time and opportunity to the kids that you're certain about? I think that's probably a bit of a dilemma for them in terms of trying to. And again, the good news is he was here in the spring. Mm-hmm. So he does have that going for him. And how much might they already, even if he was going to play, if they did know, do you still want to ramp up Augustave?
Right.
Who wasn't here. Everybody else was here in spring. And 3 of those guys were here last season. And we know Attaway can be a guy.
Right.
So, I don't know how they're doing all that.
And because, look, there's no handbook for this one, right, Jay? I mean, there's no, here's what you do in case you run into this situation.
Yeah. Well, yeah, while eligibility is pending.
So I guess with Shane, and you brought up something I thought's interesting, because it's such a special situation, do you reach a point, do you have a certain timeline where you say, look, we still want to ramp him up, but we want to get more reps for the guys we know we're going to have? Do you set up some type of circumstance where you have one thing going over here with Faison to help keep him crisp and sharp and all that while you're doing other things to get the other guys reps? maybe you are doing something that you would never do previously because you've never run into this
Right.
before. So there could be something that, Blackwell and Shane and Shula are coming up with that let's do this to keep him engaged and sharp, but we still got to get our other guys ready because we know we need those guys. And right now, we're looking at, Attaway might be the one, but we're really looking at a running back by committee / situation.
I can say there's no necessarily right answer on this, and they may not be worried about it in the sense of no, we can handle all of it.
Yeah.
We're just rotating them through. But the point I made earlier as well is even if you can split the team into various groups and do certain things, at some point, especially in scrimmage situations, you're going to want good versus good, ones versus ones and such. And, do they need to draw a line right there? And they probably aren't at that point yet.
Nah,
and they'd
probably
like
not.
to think that because you're 16, 17 days away from the first game. So you still got another week or so of camp before next weekend you put on, full game week mode where you'll have they'll start to do everything that they would starting like next Friday. They'll start to basically do everything they do going into an entire game week.
It's I guess you have a certain cutoff day if you're the coaching staff to where, okay, if we don't have the word by this day, we've got to now go into this mode. Or look, they could also be going like this. And again, like that's the fascinating part of this question is there's no right answer because nobody knows.
Right.
But maybe they're just being, look, we're being positive. We're going to keep repping him and running him out there like he's going to play because we feel good. And we're just going to keep going. And that's what we're going to do because we want to stay positive. I mean, they could be doing that too. I mean, there's just no right, wrong. You're just doing the best you can because it's so fluid. But I think it is a question worth delving into is what do you do? Or is what do you do? Nothing and just keep business as usual because this is how you practice before games in just a normal situation. Maybe you're just keeping it normal. I don't know.
By the way, speaking of the opening game, saw this for you Gamecock Club members. This is pretty cool. Saturday the 30th, so the night before the game in downtown Atlanta, at the Hall of Fame. Gamecock Club members can be part of a game reception. It will include, let me see here, dinner, open bar, entertainment, and it says access to the interactive skills area and a tour. So if you've never been to the College Football Hall of Fame and you'd like to take part in some of this kind of stuff with your fellow Gamecock fans, then you can go to GamecocksOnline.com, navigate towards that in the Gamecock Club area, and have a fun night. It's a cool place, man.
Sounds like it.
It's a cool. Did you ever finally go around and do stuff? Like at least a little bit, didn't you?
Yeah.
You were always running around working and stuff, but I mean, every once in a while I would just get up, and I've been several times now, but I just because they always change. You know how museums are; they're always changing stuff out. So
I finally got up and just took a walk. One day, the last day, I just got up and said, screw it. I'm going to walk around, take a look at the place, and see what's up, read the walls, look at all the
it's
stuff.
fun, man.
It's if you are look, even if you're not a college football dork, you just love sports. That place is cool, man. It really is.
But if you
cool.
do like college football,
you don't leave.
and they have some interactive, like you can be like on the desk of game day.
I know.
Yeah, they had that turned off for us because
I know.
we would have all been sitting there.
Absolutely, we all have been dorking up on game day.
But you can do that kind of stuff. Anyway,
It's
check
fun,
that
man.
out, Gamecock fans. Got a few hits on Twitter I want to get to when it comes to the Faison situation, more around Gamecock football, and we'll check in again with Elijah, who is out at a Little League World Series watch party at Carolina Wings. Plenty more to do as the Thursday postgame show rolls on. 19 minutes after 4 o'clock on this Thursday. Welcome back into the postgame show. Jay and Terry with you in downtown's Herndon Chevy Studios. Elijah Campbell and many enthusiastic fans out at Carolina Wings in Irmo, 1000 Marina Road, Little League World Series watch party where the Irmo Little Leaguers, who won here in South Carolina, then won the Southeast Regional, and are now at the Little League World Series in Williamsport, taking on a team from Massachusetts who is representing New England, not the old one.
No, not Old England. They beat Old England in the finals of the region.
They play cricket.
Yeah, that's
which I wish I knew something about, because it looks really fun. Although it seems like sometimes like a game can take like 2 days or something.
Oh yeah, man, they're like 120 something to 115 or whatever.
And I'll hear some of my soccer guys in England talking about it, and I'm like, it's all pops and buzzers. But I wish I knew.
Yeah, that one and the other one looked like fun. I used to watch this again in my younger days when I'd come home after a night out and you turn on ESPN at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. You got Australian rules football.
Aussie rules, yeah, which is not rugby.
No, it's not. I don't know what it is. I would sit and watch it, and of course, I wasn't in the best state of mind. But
remember the guy with he's got his little hat and the little flag, and he flips the flag down for like a certain kind of score, and I'm like, well, that's very precise.
Whatever it is, man, he's serious.
Yeah, you're like that.
He was not messing around. I would sit and just watch it. I'd be mesmerized. I didn't know what was going on, how they kept the score. I just couldn't stop watching it.
They're all named Bruce. Yeah, and they don't have their teeth.
Cauliflower ears.
Elijah Campbell's name is Elijah. He has all his teeth.
But he doesn't have cauliflower ear.
No, he does not. He might be eating some cauliflower at Carolina Wings right now, or some wings. But the mood seems to still be good as the South Carolina kids, the Irmo kids, have now made it 9-0, Elijah Campbell. And now it's about to be 10-0. 10-0, South Carolina over Massachusetts. It's a good day.
It's a great day. This is great for the tail kicking that they're putting on the new team from New England, Massachusetts. Which New England and Old England don't throw up playing each other because they did that about
about 250 years.
50 some odd years ago. Yeah, they did that. They don't play ever again. So New England won the one that matters most. But Irmo up to 0 right now. If we get a run rule here, it might end the game early, but it's not ending the party. We are just getting started. Place is filled up pretty well, and I'm going to order some fried mushrooms here in a little bit. I'm excited.
There you go. That's a show right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Put it on StreamYard. All right.
Well,
thanks,
that's the first thing I've eaten on StreamYard in the last 365 days.
That's a fair point.
That's true. My man is eating some things on StreamYard.
That's a fair point. All right. He's Elijah Campbell.
Thanks, bud.
We'll check in again shortly. He's at Carolina Wings, 1000 Marina Road, Irmo. Again, now 10-0. Irmo has a runner on third. Nobody out. Bottom three.
Now,
and you're starting to feel kind of bad for I mean, at some point here, you gotta have some.
No mercy, Jay. It's about the home team. No mercy,
Jay. At you, sweep the leg.
Exactly. Yes.
Wow.
Sweep the leg, baby.
Wow.
Hey, you run rule them at 5 innings, right? That's the mercy rule. That's where you get mercies at 5 innings.
I don't know because they play Little League Baseball plays 6, right?
6,
6, I think.
So would the run rule be 4?
I don't know. Or do they have a run rule at this level?
They've got to. You can't sit there and take a whooping like that, like 26-0 or whatever.
I honestly, I don't know. But yeah, Little League Baseball 6 innings. High school 7.
That's right. So they could probably run rule them at 4 or 5.
I don't know.
Yes. Well, you know what? That's why I've got a phone.
Well, they now have 2 on, nobody out. But some of these kids from Massachusetts are starting to look a little down, man.
Hey, man. Hey, we're not worried about those kids in Massachusetts.
I get it.
It's about the Irmo kids.
Staying with the Faison, I said one tweet I want to get to. I don't know how many of you might agree with this. Albert hits us, and he says, play Faison. The NCAA lost any semblance of fairness when they let UNC get away with essentially creating a major just for athletes. Just play him no matter what. I get the sentiment. I don't think Carolina will do that. Because here's why, Albert. Like I get where you're coming from. And some of you may be saying, well, They're toothless anyway these days.
Mm-hmm.
But let's just say that you played him against Virginia Tech and South Carolina State.
Mm-hmm.
And then when Vandy comes down, that week, they make a ruling, finally.
And it's against you.
And it's against you.
Yep.
You're going to forfeit 2 games.
Yeah, and now you've screwed yourself.
Because you willingly played an ineligible player, or at least a player that you didn't have definitive word on.
Right.
And so I get the sort of bravado.
Oh, yeah.
But you can't do that.
Because then what are you going to do, go to court?
Right.
And now fight through the courts?
And there's another one, and I think we have some time to get to this.
Yeah.
I don't want to confuse too many people here, and Terry and I are not lawyers. Again, I try to play one on the radio as best I can. There's a kid named Lewis Moore. He is from Texas. He plays at Indiana. I'm just going to read here from Heather Dinich's piece on this. This was last night. By the way, Lewis Moore has been, before I read verbatim, he's been granted by a judge in Texas a temporary restraining order that will allow him to practice for 2 weeks with Indiana while he's challenging the 5-year eligibility rule.
Mm-hmm.
Now, she writes, Moore, who started games at both Ole Miss and Indiana, recently filed a lawsuit against the NCAA in district court in Dallas County, Texas, arguing his 3 years at Navarro Junior College in Texas should not count against his eligibility. Moore also cited potential losses in earnings of around $400,000 from NIL deals. He attended Navarro from 2019 to 2022, played football there, redshirted, and was injured. Went to Indiana, where he played in 22 and 23. After his second year, he went to Ole Miss for his 3rd season of major college football, last season 24. Again, she writes, he stated in his lawsuit that he entered the transfer portal on December 27, 2024, because multiple schools advised him the recent court ruling for Vanderbilt quarterback Diego Pavia would also allow Moore another season of eligibility.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in a lot of ways, that sounds like Rasul Faison's situation, because he spent some time at a community college.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't play for a year. He gray-shirted at Marshall, and then he finally did play for a little bit, and he played at Utah State. He, Rasul, and this kid, Lewis Moore, would be eligible for the COVID year. You know, and if you can get a friendly judge to at least, and again, this judge has not said, you can go play, son.
No.
Because basically, I think he, unlike Rasul was granted permission to practice.
Yes.
This kid was not.
Right.
Now he has been. So some of you have asked, and I'll be one to admit I've asked, even if it's somewhat rhetorical, why hasn't Rasul Faison sued? He's hired a terrific attorney named Darren Heitner to advise him. Darren has won some significant NIL cases and other cases against.
And he's gone to court.
He has.
Yes.
Against the NCAA.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing, you and I were talking about this, and again, I don't have the answer, so this is excuse me, speculation on my part to some degree. But again, are there just incomplete things that Darren Heitner couldn't go in front of a judge and argue, because the judge would go, well, where's the rest of this?
Mm-hmm.
And is that some of the stuff, that's a legal term,
Oh, stuff is a legal term.
that Shane was talking about in terms of the NCAA finally getting all their paperwork that they need? So is that why? It would make sense. That's why they haven't gone to court yet, because maybe, as I told Terry, to make the kind of a different kind of analogy, you wouldn't go to a gunfight if you have a 6-shooter back in the Old West. You wouldn't go to that gunfight with 2 chambers empty, would you?
That's not a very good idea.
You better fill all 6.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm not here for gun violence, but to use the analogy, you better have that thing loaded. And if it's not, then you don't want to go into the fight. And Darren Heitner's going to be, I mean, he's an excellent attorney, so he's not going to say, hey, let's just go take our chances.
Now, maybe it is the fact that you don't have everything at your disposal. And the thing, too, about the Indiana kid, he is purely going on what Diego Pavia did.
Yeah. Who also got a judge to rule for him.
Wipe out my JUCO years.
Right.
Because that shouldn't count. Faison's is different because there's all these stops and starts. The Indiana kid's very cut and dry like Pavia. you shouldn't count my JUCO
Right.
because it wasn't Division I NCAA football.
Right. And at some point, I just think as that you get 5 to play 4. And I think the NCAA has tried to hold on to that. Again, a lot of the questions around Rasul are when did that clock actually start ticking?
Yep.
Get into more of this and update you again on the Little League World Series as the postgame show rolls on.
All righty, a few accidents as we start the ride home. Carolina Pines Drive at Jenkins Brothers Road in Blythewood. Lexington Highway 302 at I-26. In Columbia, a couple accidents as well. O'Neill Court near Decker Boulevard. St. Andrews Road near Bush River Road. And obviously, the construction continues between UG and I-26. Also, I-26 Bush River Road, Old Sandy Run Road. And I-20 between 26, exit 64, and 65 Broad River Road. Get back into the post-game show. Continue our discussion with Rasul Faison. That's next here on the game.
26 minutes in front of 5 o'clock on a Thursday. Welcome back into the post-game show. Jay and Terry with you. The Irmo Little League guys playing the team from Massachusetts right now as the Little League World Series is underway in Williamsport, and they continue to pour it on. It is now 13-0. Bases loaded, bottom three as Irmo continues to hit. Now, Terry went and got the run rule situation for this event.
I do what we all do now. I went to Google AI, which is never wrong.
Yeah.
Google AI tells me that, okay, Little League World Series rules, there's if you have a 15-run lead after 3 innings, it's done. 10-run lead after 4 innings.
Okay.
It's done.
Well, again, bases loaded, 2 out right now with a 1-1 count. So if Irmo were to push 2 more across, then this game's over.
Oh, who hit first?
Irmo's the home team. So
Okay.
this is bottom 3.
Okay.
So this would be it
This would be
if
it.
they push 2 more across.
At the end of the 3rd inning, or 2.5 innings, the home team is ahead. One team would lead by 15 after 3 or 10 after 4. So if they could get 2 more across here, it would be game over. And then I would feel terrible about the Massachusetts
I mean,
kids.
it's just, I mean, you're happy for whoever you're pulling for if they win the game, but they are 12. And I think we're going to get a 4th inning. Yep, we are. All right, pop up.
But the good news is it's 13-0. So if you hold this lead
Yeah.
after 4, it's over.
Yeah, so you get, well, you would only need to
You
get
3
3
outs.
outs.
You get 3 outs,
Yeah,
it's
you
done.
you
Yeah.
need 3 outs here in the top of the 4th.
And it's finished.
So, and this is just the opening game, so don't get too excited. There's still a long way to go.
Unfortunately, you can't take some of these runs with you.
No, that's what I remember. My mom used to always say that when the Braves were winning a big. They need to save some of those for tomorrow.
My dad would do the same thing. The Orioles are winning like 10-0 or whatever. Man, need some of them runs for tomorrow's game.
Wish that's how it worked.
I know, just take them with you.
One other thing, and then I'll close the book for now on the Rasul Faison story, but this isn't even really about Rasul. This is, again, a similar case that's being adjudicated right now down in Texas with a kid from Texas who actually plays for Indiana. Again, keep it all straight. He has an attorney who said the following of the NCAA in terms of its 5 years to play for ruling. Quote, "They're like a broken record. They keep making the same argument but expecting a different outcome. The NCAA is on the wrong side of this issue. It violates the Sherman Antitrust Act, and they keep making the same argument, expecting a different result, when what they should be doing is saying, all right, now that some people are getting to play because our legal arguments don't hold water, we need to have a uniform rule that makes it fair to everyone," end quote. Terry, you're going to have to help me with this a little bit. But it feels like what he's saying is the 5 years to play for isn't fair, and that they needed another kind of rule that's uniform. Well, they have a uniform rule. It's 5 years to play for. And they gave the kids that had eligibility or anything disrupted during COVID, they gave everybody a blanket extra year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not... either I'm missing something in what he's saying, or I'm just not. I don't agree with him. I'm not sure which one it is.
Let me give it a try. Let's go with the part of where maybe you're missing something. We'll try this. 2 things. When you read that quote to me, here this is what goes through my head. A, who's paying him?
Right.
He's being paid to help out the kid, right?
Right.
B, I believe what he's saying, and again, I could be wrong. He wants it to be 5 years of Division 1A, for lack of a better term. So wipe out JUCOs. If you go to Division 1A, you should have 5 years of Division 1A or football bowl, whatever we call it now.
Right.
I think he's saying the JUCO shouldn't
Well, if you go to a 4-year school.
Right. The JUCO shouldn't matter. Division 2 shouldn't matter. He's basically saying what should matter is playing on a Division 1A football team or Division 1A football teams. So in this guy's world, ready? I think you could do a couple years of JUCO, go roll out a couple years of Division 2, and then still have 5 years left at Division 1.
Yeah, and that's why I say it. So maybe
what I'm hearing.
Yeah, and so maybe either way I don't agree with, because I
You could see he'll be 35 years old and still be playing college football.
I mean, at that point, it sounds if what he's saying is accurate in that the eligibility requirements also violate antitrust laws, then I feel like a long time ago somebody would have said, well, I'm going to sue to keep playing college ball. I mean, listen, there's a lot of kids that are good at college football that don't make it in the National Football League.
Was it 2%?
Yeah,
that means 98% of these players.
Well, I've said
aren't playing in
before,
the NFL?
if you want to do the quick math, and it might be different now because Texas and Oklahoma are in, because I remember doing a story about something a few years ago. There are basically as many players in the Southeastern Conference as there are in the National Football League.
Yeah.
And then think about all the rest of college football.
Mm-hmm.
So just, but that's about, it's not complete equal, but
isn't that why Diego Pavia went for another year? Because he knew he was going to get another year of NIL money.
Yeah.
And that's why he sued to get rid of that JUCO year so he could have another year of eligibility.
Because he's not, and I'm not dogging Diego Pavia. He's fun for college football. I mean, there's a good example. He's a good college football player.
But he's not a pro.
But he's not going to play in the NFL.
He's not going to play in the NFL. So you want to squeeze everything you can out of your college experience financially in this world we live in today. So, and to me, it's like anything. Hey, go to court until they tell you no.
Yeah.
And that's what Diego Pavia did, but he won because the NCAA is like, we don't want to fight anymore. We are winless in court.
And that comes back around to bring it back to Rasul. If you missed us talking about this a little bit earlier, a lot of people ask, why hasn't Rasul Faison just gone ahead and sued and gone to court? And I don't have an answer to that other than I know he has a fantastic, successful against the NCAA attorney named Darren Heitner.
Mm-hmm.
Darren clearly must believe that at this point, either they don't have as winnable a case or, again, there was literal information, evidence almost, if you will, missing before you can go and fight your case, right? And I think it's B. I think it's the latter there. I think, and that's what Shane alluded to in, well, finally, he said the other day, the NCAA has everything they need. Clearly, they've just been saying, well, we need this, we need this, we need this.
Right.
All right, we got that. Now we don't have that. Now we do. Okay. And that is the most plausible scenario to me, that Rasul and his camp were doing everything they could to feed the information to the NCAA, and they simply didn't have all of it at their disposal. Now they do. So how long can you give the NCAA before you might want to file a lawsuit?
Well, look, here's the thing.
17 days before the start of the regular season.
Here's a guy who is obviously, and we're talking about Faison's lawyer, has gone to court and won against the NCAA.
A couple times.
So court is definitely in his toolbox,
Absolutely.
right? So there is a reason, and I think you might have the best scenario, but there's a reason he hasn't pulled that trigger.
Right.
And because right now that's not in the best interest of his client.
Yeah, so because and when I say, and again, y'all hear me out because I'm not a lawyer, and I'm trying to be careful with this. I'm speculating. I understand that. I'm trying to make an educated guess. We can't win with where we are. We know in our hearts that if we get everything that we need from an evidentiary perspective, we can win. We don't have that yet.
Right.
So until we have that, and let's let them decide first. And if they're unfavorable, then maybe we can go fight.
And that's going to be the interesting part. Look, we all hope it doesn't end up in that room. We just hope that Faison gets the okay to play.
Yeah.
But let's say he gets ruled against by the NCAA. Then does Darren, is he standing outside the courthouse?
Yeah, then do you go to
file?
are you here somewhere in Columbia or, somewhere else? I don't know.
Yeah, because you nailed it, man. You got 17 days.
You go to the same judge that ruled for Diego Pavia?
Absolutely.
Up in Tennessee?
You do. Yes.
I don't know. Or this judge in Texas?
I mean, times, and that's why you just want the decision so then you can now do what you think you need to do. But there's a reason why they haven't gone the court route.
There is.
Absolutely.
And so, but again, day 219 of the Rasul Faison watch. We will continue to pay attention to that. All right, I think we're going to check in again with Elijah and a little Jay Renee. And we got to come back around to the vault, and we'll do that.
We'll catch up on that.
As well on the Thursday postgame show.
The Men's Clinic of South Carolina, we talk about it all the time. If you're a guy and you just don't feel like you used to, you don't sleep like you used to, you're not as strong at the gym, you don't bounce back from workouts, you don't just have a lack of drive in life, whether it's professional, sexual, personal, whatever. It's not you. It could be low testosterone. That simple. One way to find out, you call 803-875-MENS. You set up that free confidential consultation with Dr. Dan and the staff at the men's clinic. You tell them your story. If they think it could be low T, what they'll do is they'll do some lab work. If it comes back low testosterone, they will put you on a program specifically designed for you to get you feeling like you again. Again, just make the call. It could be low T. 803-875-MENS. The Men's Clinic of South Carolina. Again, make that call.
All right, welcome back in. Post-game show rolling on here on a Thursday. It's over in Williamsport, over well before we thought it might be. The Irmo Little Leaguers beating the Massachusetts kids 13-0. That's the run rule. Again, up by 10 or more after 4, then the game is over. And it is over. Elijah Campbell at a celebratory Carolina Wings, 1000 Marina Road in Irmo. I can't imagine too many people saw this one coming, sir.
Absolutely not. No. I mean, our boy Joe Gioletti almost messed around and threw a no-hitter. He was 1 inning away from throwing a no-hitter. So I don't think we saw him 1 inning away from throwing a no-hitter and putting up 13 on the board. So a pleasant surprise.
And he hit a grand slam.
And a grand slam. Yeah, the kid was on fire today.
Yeah, that's incredible baseball. Have a day, son.
Man.
Have a day.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know if there's anything else I could think of that he didn't do in this game. Home run, that was a grand slam, and also 8 strikeouts, pitched the entire game. Did he also set the lineup? Did he walk everybody?
Well, I say the old joke for a baseball player that had a day was he also sold popcorn.
And if he did that, then he has had the entire Little League World Series experience.
Yeah.
But
well,
they breathe, man. They breathe.
Yeah, that's the good news. They've won today, and now you're in the winners bracket.
Yep.
Moving on. So still a lot of baseball to be played, but that's a pretty good team to win like that.
It's a good start, man.
Yeah, we'll see. All right. Well, did you get all your fried foods yet, or you still have to eat for a while?
Oh, I just finished the last of my fried mushrooms. 10 out of 10. Would recommend. Now, you might want to wait like a good minute or two before you start biting into them because they are still very hot.
Sure.
I do maybe have second-degree burns in the roof of my mouth.
Fun.
But it was worth it. They're delicious, and I can still taste them.
Okay,
Highly
quick
recommend.
question. What's better, fried mushrooms or Rocky Mountain oysters?
Oh, man, you're really making me think about this one. Oh. I think, yeah, maybe giving the mushrooms a slight edge. Less rubbery.
Slight.
All right, we appreciate you, my man.
Slight.
Thank you, bye.
All right, good stuff. That's Elijah, Carolina Wings. Well, the game's over, but you can still go
Oh, yeah.
have a beer and some.
Chill out, have some
food.
fun.
I guess they have
relax.
wings.
I've never been there.
Right in the name. It's right in the name. So there you go. All right, you want to do this? Do we have
I got a little. I got the. I am ready for the vault. You want to do the vault? We can do.
Well, let's do the vault, and then we'll do. Do we have time for both? We got like 3 minutes.
Let's see what happens.
Let's fly through this.
Let's see what happens. We'll definitely do the vault.
Okay.
Let's do that. I don't have vault music right now.
That's okay.
We're just gonna move on to the moment. This happened in 2016, my man. This is very quick. It doesn't take long. You'll see why.
Gatlin got a good enough start. Bolt was a bit slow to begin. He's got some work to do. Gatlin's in front. Bolt stretching out now. He's coming after him. He's immortal now. Usain's done it. Gatlin challenged for the silver medal. 9.80 all the way from Beijing to London and now to Rio. It is one of the greatest athletic achievements of all time.
Third straight Olympic 100-meter win for Usain Bolt on this day in 2016.
You know, I don't know how many. I'm certain you could make the case that he's the most dominant, just straight line sprinter in the history of the sport, considering the times and to do it, because that's an 8-year gap. And you think about how long he was preparing for the Beijing games. I've told this story before. I had just gotten back from our situation in Baltimore, and my wife was still up there with her medical thing, and our young daughter who was born in an intensive care up in Baltimore. And it was just, after however long I was up there, and my girls were asleep, and it was on tape delay, and I didn't know what had happened, and I let out a loud word I can't say on the air as he hit like the 50-meter mark.
Because Gatlin had the lead.
Well, I don't mean that one. I mean the first time.
Oh, the first time.
Yeah, the first time in 08. In 08.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I said a word. And then he did it in 12. And then in 16, that was tight because 9.8, this is crazy. They didn't run super fast at 9.8.
Well, here's the thing that kills me. Like, I'm watching the replay here because you and I can run a 9.8 right now. In the 10 meters.
For 20 meters.
So Gatlin has got him at the 40-meter mark, and then it's like Bolt, like they flipped a switch.
That's what he does.
And he just smoked them the last 60 meters.
That's why I'm saying, that's what I was going to say, is I remember the Beijing one. How did he hit another gear? But he does. That's what Usain Bolt does. He does not come out of and I've read enough about him now, like he doesn't come out of the gate like the best,
He's a really big, tall guy, and he doesn't like fire out of the gate fast.
But at 50, at the halfway point, then he has something that clicks, and then he just. But I remember the one in Beijing. It was like if you run over the little thing in Mario Kart, man. It speeds you up for a second. Like I was like, what did he just run? I mean, but I did. I said, holy something.
I mean,
out loud. I was like, thank God my girls were little and didn't hear me, and they were back of the house. And I was by myself, man.
I'll tell you what, it's unreal. And we've seen some, excellent sprinters in our life, but I don't think anybody's Usain Bolt.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That was good, man.
That was pretty cool. All right, we'll get to Jay or Nay.
Oh, yeah.
Shortly.
Jay versus the internet, Jay or Nay. We got a whole lot of stuff.
All right, and our Gamecock Notebook coming up, too, after the headlines. Keep it here. All right, I promised y'all it was going to get hot again. I didn't want it to. I didn't try to speak it into existence, but it is August in South Carolina, and so, those days of low 80s couldn't last forever. I remember last night I walked out, and I was like, 11 o'clock, taking the dogs out before bed, and it was like 82. So, point being, time to call AAA Heating and Air. If your AC is not keeping you comfortable all throughout the day or sleeping at night, 803-677-1500. Take advantage of a great opportunity that Roy and Dana Finley and their crew have extended for you here for a few more weeks. You get a 15-year parts and labor guarantee. You get guaranteed financing. You get a $1,500 system buyback rebate, and you get no payments or interest for a full year for qualified buyers. So you got time to pay for it, set it up, and know that you get a decade and a half of quality comfort in your home. 803-677-1500. Tell them we sent you to AAA Heating and Air.
803-677-1500. 803-677-1500. 803-677-1500. 803-677-1500. 803-677-1500. 803-677-1500. 803-677-1500. 803-677-1500. 803-677-1500. 803-677-1500. 803-677-1500. 803-677-1500. 803-677-1500. 803-677-1500. 803-677-1500. 803-677-1500. 803-677-1500. 803-677-1500. 803-677-1500. 803-677-1500. 803-677-1500. 803-677-1500. 803-677-1500. 803-677-1500. 803-677-1500. 803-677-1500. 803-677-1500. 803-677-1500. 803-677-1500. 803-677-1500. 803-677-1500. 803-677-1500. 803-677-1500. 803-677-1500. 803-677-1500.
Progressive's up payment.
Quick check on the traffic. Again, few accidents around the area of St. Andrews Road near Bush River Road in Columbia. Also, O'Neill Court near Decker Boulevard, Old Charleston Road at James Dunbar Road. Lexington, Highway 302 at I-26. In Richland, Garner's Ferry Road at I-77. Blythewood, Carolina Pines Drive near Jenkins Brothers Road. And back in Columbia, Hunt Club Road at O'Neill Court. We'll come back, get you the 5 o'clock news sponsored by our Buds Integrated Media. That's next here on the postgame show with Jay and Terry on the game.
It is 5 o'clock news time here on this Thursday. Welcome back in. Also, the final hour of the postgame show alongside Terry Ford. I'm Jay Phillips. We start with the note once again that the Irmo Little Leaguers, representing not only the state of South Carolina, but the entire Southeast region at the Little League World Series, have won their opener against the New England team. It's a club out of Massachusetts. Irmo wins today in emphatic fashion, 13-0 in 4 innings. They invoked the run rule.
It was a beatdown.
It was.
I thought of this really quick. No offense to these nice young kids from Massachusetts, but hasn't that state won enough? Right? I mean, the Patriots were a dynasty. The Red Sox have won a few World Series. The Celtics won the NBA title a couple years ago, and they got more banners than anybody in the NBA. The Bruins, what was it, in the last decade, won the Stanley Cup. About enough.
If you say so, man.
About enough.
I mean, I don't know how some fans feel about that because can you win enough?
Not if you're like.
But
Yuva.
if you're the other guy.
Yeah, I mean, us folks that aren't from Massachusetts are sick of them.
Yeah.
I mean, Yuva whines they haven't won a title in a couple of years.
Well, I get it, but that was it was definitely a beatdown today.
Yes.
There's no question about that.
No question.
Nice work by the kids from Irmo.
That's right.
Excellent job.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens next for them. Little League World Series continues now. Let's see who's next. Is Chinese Taipei against a club from Mexico. So that starts here in just a few minutes up in Williamsport. But again, Irmo beats the team from officially Braintree, Massachusetts, 13-0. Heck of a day for those kids. To the Gamecocks we go. Lenora Sellers, one of 27 quarterbacks named to the Manning Award watch list, which is presented by the Sugar Bowl. We already know what he's all about in terms of his size, his stats, where he's from. The National Freshman Offensive Player of the Year last year and a freshman All-American. The Manning Award has been created to honor college football accomplishments of Archie, Peyton, and Eli. It is the only quarterback award that includes the candidates' postseason performances in its balloting. The winner will be selected by a voting panel, which includes some national media and each of the Mannings after the postseason.
Like the whole family? Like
it says each of the Mannings.
Archie, Aunt Tilda Manning.
I don't know if they just mean Archie. I mean, does Cooper get to vote? Does Arch get to vote?
Yeah.
Can't vote for himself?
Yeah, Arch is
I'm assuming.
last name's Manning, right?
Yeah, I'm assuming. I don't have the full. Let me see if I can get this real quick. I don't have the full watch list on this. This is Carolina's release, so they didn't give me everybody's name. But I will look up who all is on this list. I would think Art. Let's see. All right, hold on a second. I'll tell you. All right, we got Sam Levitt from Arizona State. I have to go through these quick. Taylon Green, Arkansas. Sawyer Robertson, Baylor. Maddox Madsen, Boise. Brendan Sorsby, Cincinnati. Cade Klubnik, Caton Hauser, ECU. Keon Jenkins, FIU. Haynes King at Georgia Tech. Luke Altmaier, Illinois. Rocco Becht at Iowa State. Avery Johnson, K-State. Garrett Nussmeier, LSU. Nicholas Vattiato from Elijah Campbell's Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders. Arch is not on here. Blake Horvath of Navy, C.J. Bailey, NC State, Parker Navarro, Ohio, Colton Joseph, Old Dominion, Drew Aller, Penn State, Kevin Jennings, SMU, the aforementioned Lenore Sellers, Josh Hoover, Texas Christian, Marcel Reed, Texas A&M, Baron Morton, Texas Tech. Oh, man, Arch and the Longhorn people are going to be hacked off.
Well, I mean, it's a Manning Award. Arch is probably a voter, so he can't be on the list. Tucker
Gleason, Toledo, Owen McCown, UTSA. There's another Texas school. And Diego Pavia is on the list.
Makes sense.
Ed Baylor. I forgot about I said the Baylor kid, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Robertson kid from Baylor.
Wow. But no.
Every school in the state of Texas except Texas.
Is that a conflict of interest?
Yes.
Or is he just not put enough out there for the Manning watch list prognostication to afford him the opportunity?
Did you see Cooper going, son, you only had a couple starts?
Or, a call from Arch to Archie, like, hey, Granddad.
What's up?
Hey, boy, how you doing? I just saw the list. Yeah. I'm not on it. I know. Why not? You ain't good enough.
That's right. I've watched you play, boy.
Yeah, get out there and work.
You got to earn it.
I would imagine, like a lot of these awards, that the preseason watch list does not mean they are beholden to only choosing from them.
No.
Look, we're being kind of silly on purpose here, but what if he does? What if he wins the Heisman?
Yeah.
Then he's going to win this award too, right? Like, are people going to be, it's fixed.
Right. It's just because he's a Manning.
Right. I feel kind of bad for him.
The other thing about him real quick.
But what if he does have
yes, he's got, we forget something. He legitimately has game.
Yeah, he was the top-rated quarterback in America, and it's not because of his name.
No.
His name gets him some pub, but you got to go do the work.
Yeah, I mean, this dude could spin it in high school, and he's got talent. Honestly, and we joke about the Manning thing and all that, but if this dude is sitting in New York at the end of the year, you shouldn't be surprised. He has that much skill, and plus it's fixed. But no, anyway.
Well, what you probably do, if I'm him, I don't call Granddad, and I don't call Uncle Peyton. I call Uncle Eli.
Absolutely.
Because Uncle Eli would probably be the one that would
he's goofy enough to kind of get you in there. Because he's the goofy uncle, right?
I'll fix it.
Isn't Eli like the goofy uncle you have that he's always like, he's the guy that gets you beer.
I mean, Peyton, they have, and Cooper too. They have fantastic, they're so funny. But, by the way, did you see Eli, like, he did that quarterback thing where he like put a mustache on and like went to like some kind of tryout camp or whatever?
At Penn State,
yeah.
Right.
Well, he, the other day, I guess maybe like the practice rounds of the St. Jude, he went as both a FedEx delivery guy, because FedEx sponsors it there in Memphis, and he was one of the volunteers, like at the tee box, like where with the little cones to like where the ball's going.
I didn't see this. How funny was
that?
It
was great, and he's like delivering. He's still the driving range. There's some guys in the driving range, like Ricky Fowler was one of them, and he's in the FedEx uniform, and he's got a new driver. He's like, yeah, I got a driver for Fowler. Like, yeah, I hope you can hit it better than you did last week. And Ricky Fowler's sort of like, who the hell is this guy? Like, telling me, and they realize it's Eli.
That's fantastic.
And then he's like he's on the tee box with one of them, and he's got those things, and he's like, yeah, 4. I don't really know what that means, but I don't know if that's good. They're like, what are we like? What are we doing here? And then they realize. So it was pretty funny.
The thing about it, because we saw how funny Peyton was Saturday Night Live's the first time he popped, right?
Yeah.
But then they started doing
throwing
that
footballs at those kids.
That is the classic. Is that the classic one? But then you didn't realize how funny Eli was, so you started doing that show with Peyton, and you're like, oh my God, he's kind of funny.
It was funny.
Good.
But he did. Like Ricky Fowler was like, what
That's
the hell?
so good. I can see Fowler's face. That's the guy to mess with, though, is Fowler.
Right.
That's a dude to screw with. Absolutely. That's good.
That's really good stuff. All right. Where were we here? We continue our integrated media headlines of the day. Pete Thamel, Dan Wetzel reporting that the NCAA Infractions Committee will tomorrow let us know how, if at all, Michigan will be punished after the Connor Stallions sign stealing situation. The NCAA charged Michigan and many of its coaches with 11 different violations. Over half of them, 6 of the 11, are level 1. That's the new top level. Stallions, of course, is alleged to have arranged for many of his folks, not like his parents, people, to attend games, film sideline signals involving future Michigan opponents between 2021 and 2023. Of course, Stallions resigned. There's been a Netflix documentary where he was very coy, and that's putting it politely. Sharon Moore is expected to be suspended for at least 2 games this season for deleting a 52-text thread with Stallions. One of the questions Pete Thamel writes about here says whether or not the self-imposed sanction will be accepted by the NCAA or if there will be any additions to it. Michigan has asked that the 2-game ban be served during games 3 and 4 this season. I believe their second game is the one at Oklahoma where Sharon Moore played his football. I don't know what to expect on this. I threw up a Larry David shoulder shrug gif today on this one, Terry. I honestly kind of forgotten about it. It'll be back in the forefront tomorrow, and we'll talk more about it. I know a lot of people are like, who cares? You can do it. Well, you can't do what they did, and rules are rules. And remember, Jim Harbaugh got out of Dodge. I don't think they're going to go. I have no idea. I don't think they're going to go as far as to make them vacate a title. But even if they did, again, the vacating of wins and the vacating of titles
is stupid.
Is just dumb.
Yeah, it's dumb.
I mean, again, it's not the Men in Black thing where they,
hold that pen in your eyeballs.
Right. Yeah, I saw the game.
Yeah, we know Michigan won. We saw Southern Cal win. You can't tell us it didn't happen. It's dumb. You're not punishing anybody. And really, to me,
Memphis went to a Final Four.
Yeah, no, they wiped that away. Remember, it's just goofy. The thing with me, and look, I'll throw this out. I don't know what they're going to do to him. I don't. But I think it would have been worse if Harbaugh's still there. They really want Harbaugh. Remember, Harbaugh basically gave them the middle finger for years, right?
Well, and that was all the Michigan fans like, it's just a hamburger. And it's like, all right, but if it was a $75 ribeye from a really nice steakhouse, does that make a difference? Then it'd be, it's just a steak. At what point do you draw lines? I mean, what he did, that was a major double recruiting violation.
because it was a dead period and it was during COVID. And whatever you might think of the COVID restrictions, whatever else, it doesn't matter. He broke 2 rules, and you can't give kids free meals. Yeah, just a hamburger. I get it. Again, where do I draw a line? And I love Jim Harbaugh, and he's an awesome coach.
Fantastic.
But he broke those rules.
Right.
But he's gone, and he's never coming back to college.
And that's why I think that maybe because the NCAA really wanted to get Harbaugh.
Yes.
And now he's gone. And
they never will.
They never will.
They never will.
And we can sit here all day and talk about how dumb rules are.
I mean, they can slap a show cause tomorrow
they
on Jim
absolutely
Harbaugh.
will.
But it doesn't matter because he's never coming back.
He's not coming back. He did his job. He won the national title for his alma mater. He's done.
He wants to win the Super Bowl.
Yes, that's what he wants. And there's no show cause in the NFL.
There is not. They couldn't care less.
And the other part of it is, look, I think that whole Connor Stallions rule about taking the phone and videotaping, the NCAA has to realize in 2025, everybody's got that phone.
And they do.
And anybody in the stands, I guarantee there are people in the stands videotaping highlights to take home and show, hey, look at the game. This was really cool. I videotaped my kid. That rule should be done away with. It's stupid. But you know what, Jay? It's a rule.
It's a rule.
And you knew you were breaking. You wouldn't have done all this covert crap if you.
I mean, look at the system he orchestrated.
It was ridiculous. That guy had something. The military should hire him.
Yeah. Again, the thing that got creepy with him was that 400-page
the manifesto. Where one day he's going to be the coach in Michigan.
I was like, bro, it's a football team.
That thing was that was weird. That's sort of like page 17,402 and. I'm going to marry Jennifer Aniston. It was just really creepy. He was weird.
Seriously. You can love your school and he didn't even go there. He went to Navy. He's he graduated from the Naval Academy.
He's a military guy. And look,
it's like
it went a little too far. Yeah. But so we can sit here all day and talk about what's a dumb rule because there's a lot of them. But there are rules, and you know when you're breaking them because you're going like this. I don't care. I need to win.
Yeah. And I was looking real quick. To clarify, Harbaugh's already gotten his show calls.
Was it? Okay, what was it? I forgot about
4
that.
4 years.
It could be 40. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
He doesn't care.
400. Yeah. He's never coming back to college football.
Yeah.
So there you go. All right, so we'll find out tomorrow. That'll be certainly part of tomorrow's headlines. In the meantime, that is – oh, no, wait. I got one more. The Atlanta Braves won last night.
Woo-hoo!
Braves were down 6-0, scored 9 runs in the 4th inning, including a grand slam from Michael Harris, tacked on a couple of more late, and won the ball game 11. The Braves are finally getting hot, Terry. The Braves are finally getting hot.
You know what? It's not too late, Jay.
Well, it is. But it is. They're still 16 games under 500. But they've actually been playing much better baseball.
They've gotten a little healthy.
Yeah.
It's weird when your best players can play, then you get better.
So
anyway, strange.
Braves and Mets go at it again tonight at 7 o'clock up in Queens. That is now our integrated media headlines of the day, 803-948-8327 for all your home theater needs ahead of football season. Call Integrated Media. Gamecock Notebook is next. Cato's Power Equipment is ready to make sure that you have everything you need to get your yard looking good again. Listen, the rain is still keeping some of us, me, from doing as much yard work as I would typically like to do, but I know that at some point I'm going to have to go get it done. So has it been a while since you've had your lawnmower taken care of, or do you just want a new one? Now's a great time here at the end of the summer. See some of the great deals and specials they've got going on at Cato's, whether it's gas-powered, push, rider, battery-powered. And listen, a lot of this battery-powered equipment from Toro is really, really great. How do I know? Because I have a couple of Flex Force tools with battery power, and I'm telling you, I love them. Whatever you do, whether you do it for yourself, whether you do it for a living, see Cato's for great sales, service, and advice. 4012 West Beltline Boulevard, and always online at catospowerequipment.com. All right, welcome back in. 20 minutes after 5 o'clock here on a Thursday afternoon. Jay and Terry with you. Before we open up the Gamecock Notebook, do want to remind you that starting Monday, we will be expanding into Charleston on WIWF. We're going to have to give them a nickname, man.
You think?
96.9 HD3. Saying WIWF is going to be really hard for me.
How about 96.9 the game in Charleston?
Okay.
You do that one?
Yeah, that's better. Because WIWF, that's a lot of syllables.
It doesn't really slip off the
That's
tongue.
a lot of syllables.
Yeah.
But no matter what, you'll be able to hear us now across the Midlands, the Low Country, the Grand Strand, the PD, and always, of course, on 107.5 The Game's app or 1075thegame.com or on our YouTube channel. But howdy to all my Charleston friends.
Do you have friends in Charleston?
I do.
Really?
Yep.
You're not making that up?
Nope.
Name them.
There's another Jay. There's Hawk.
You're friends with Hawk?
There's Todd.
You just made up that. There's nobody named Hawk.
No.
You made that up. Like we make up like you always like Elijah would make up those names for you to try to see if they're real or not.
That's right.
Hawk's not real.
Yeah. Yep.
I think you just made that up.
No. They, two of those guys were in my wedding, man. So wouldn't lie to you about that.
Really?
Yeah, wouldn't lie to you.
Was Hawk in your wedding?
Yeah.
Now, is that his real name?
Todd was not. His real name is Hawkins. But
Did you call him Hawk? Okay.
He's Hawk.
All right. Just checking on you.
Hawk McElveen. Wouldn't make that up.
Yeah, you can't make that one up.
Nope.
Good point.
No. I'd say his whole name, but then because we had a, I'll tell you his whole name later because it was always fun for us to say it that way.
Oh, really?
But I won't do that on the air because I don't want to. I don't want anybody getting doxxed. Hawk's awesome, man. He's great. But anyway, yeah. So we'll be in Charleston here soon enough. Where was I? Gamecock notebook time. Speaking of South Carolinians, even if he is not from Charleston, he's from Rock Hill, but he played at Georgia. But Ben Watson, part of the SEC Network crew now after many years in college and the NFL. And as a defender himself, analyzes that side of the ball. And this is what he had to say as he looks at the 2025 Gamecock defense.
Yeah, I think Beamer brought up a good point about the fact that if you played well the year before, you end the season the way South Carolina did, and you have a quarterback coming back, you're probably going to be ranked fairly high. I think they're ranked in the right place, but I'm probably about an 8, honestly, on the worry meter when it comes to this defense. I'm highly worried because I have a lot of faith in Clayton White. I think he's done a tremendous job over the last several years with this defense. This is a ball-hawking defense, lots of turnovers. They're bringing back one of the best defensive players in the country in Dylan Stewart, who had 6 sacks last year, 10 tackles for loss. But look, you lose 8 of your top 11 tacklers from a year before.
Say that again. Say that again for the people to understand.
8 of your top 11 tacklers. We're talking about guys who were drafted, safety, Emin. I mean, all across the defensive
J.J.
line.
Sanders, Tonka Hemingway.
They lost a lot of production, and so football is about next man up 100%, but it's always difficult when you lose that amount of production, especially on the defense, and especially for a team that has leaned on this defense, and they'll do the same thing early in the season.
And I do know Ben Watson's a tight end. I was thinking about Richard Seymour in my head for a second and getting a couple of South Carolina, Georgia kids confused. So for anybody like texts or emails in, I know Ben Watson's a tight end. I thought about that about halfway through. I was like, no, Jay, wrong guy. But he is from Rock Hill. Nevertheless, I think listen, I said this earlier about Greg McElroy. I don't know how a lot of you feel, how many of you may agree with some of the things that Ben just said, but it's a fair point to make in terms of having unanswered questions. Now, you know, is 8 on the panic meter or worry meter, I think he said, is that a little high? You know, maybe. And we were talking with Julia Westerman was in with us from WIS Sports earlier, Terry, and you know she made the point that we've said a couple of times, like, last year, did you know Kyle Kennard was going to win the Nagurski? Did you know D. Knight was going to be a draft pick? You know, I don't know if they knew. They certainly, you know, I don't know if you think you're going to win one of the individual awards for being one of the great defenders in the country. Yeah. You hope you progress and develop, and that's what Ben was saying about Clayton. So, I wouldn't be mad if I'm a Gamecock fan at some of these SEC Network guys who are looking at this and just saying, I've got questions about who they filled the holes with. Because there's no reason right now to look at some of these guys, even if it's guys like Sean Murphy at linebacker, who's played at Alabama and Florida State, or Mikael Goodwine, who's played at Alabama and has been at Carolina for a couple of years, or others. I mean, you have a couple of first-round picks on that defense for sure, right? Kilgore's going to be a first-round pick, or so we believe. And Dylan Stewart, next year, a year and a half from now, whatever, is going to be a first-round pick. But there's reasons to say, I've got some questions. I don't think that's a bad thing, and it doesn't mean that these guys can't develop the same way we saw guys develop last year.
Yeah, I think that was a good point when Julia brought it up. Is like, look, nobody said when you got Kyle Kennard, that dude's going to the Nagurski. Nobody, when you got Demetrius Knight, nobody said, well, that dude's going to be a second-round pick in the NFL draft, right? Nobody did. And they popped here. They came in, they fit the defense, they took the next step in their careers up to the SEC, and look what they did. And look, Murphy was a 4-star recruit. Our boy, whose name we can't say from Alabama, was a 4-star recruit. the linebacker, Okoronkwo, or however the hell we say.
Okoronkwo.
He even had tough time saying his name, Okoronkwo.
Yeah.
I mean, you have.
I don't know if you meant Desmond Umeozulu either. So.
Yeah, exactly. Nice job. Well, you have other guys on this defense who are high level recruits who are now getting their opportunities, and if half of them pop, your defense might not be what it was last year, but it'll be good.
Again, I think I've got questions, and I've already told you we've had a couple of shows about this.
Mm-hmm.
I have my biggest concern on defense is linebacker, because so many of those guys simply don't have the experience. And when I look at some of the defensive line guys, I think there's dudes up there that got some run. I look at some of the guys in the defensive backfield, and I think they got some minutes last year. And not as many of the linebackers did. Do I have like this grave concern of, oh my gosh, can they play? No, I don't, because they've got bodies and they've got size, and some of them have played somewhere. So, again, I think there's legitimate questions about the defense. I don't think it's problematic to just to say, can they be as productive? That's, for one thing, that's part of what this time of year is anyway.
Sure.
And listen, I have bigger questions, honestly, and we've talked about it a lot already today. What is this running back room really going to be? That might be more where I turn my attention. I know we're talking more about defense in terms of what Ben was saying, but I get the questions. That's all I'm going to say. Do I agree? Look, one of the things that Tyler asked, I think Tyler and Wes had Greg McElroy on the other day, and Greg was in some ways defending why he didn't put South Carolina in his top 25.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I get it. Do I agree with it? No. And I've been telling you for a month now, and certainly in the last couple of weeks since the coaches and AP poll came out, I think Carolina's about where Carolina should be, top 15.
Yeah.
And they're 13th in both. That sounds about right. But if you don't have them in there, you had them down lower. I think J.D. Piquel at On 3 has them number 11.
Yeah.
So, and people were like, you got Carolina. I mean, 11, 13. Here's the thing. You're 0-0.
Yeah.
If you're 1-0, you're going to be about right there. If you're 0-1,
That's why this is talking season, man.
So,
everybody looks at all these teams.
But the questions are fair.
And the questions are fair because you don't know how these guys are going to step up.
Right.
Your hope is enough of them step up where your defense is really good, and you're hoping your offense is going to take off to another level because of what you got at quarterback and some of these other interesting pieces that you hope step up. So, I mean, that's what this time of year is about, man.
Come back on the other side with our drive around the SEC. Yesterday we had talk of the new Adidas Tennessee deal, and an interesting comment that Tyler got for us from our sister station in Knoxville from Jason Swain on how some of this went down. I think you're going to want to hear it. That's part of the drive around. It's next.
On the roads, Richland accident, Garner's Ferry, I-77, that's still going on. As in Columbia, Hunt Club Road at O'Neill Court, Old Charleston Road at James Dunbar Road. Those are still getting cleared up. New accident in Kershaw, I-20 westbound, right before White Pond Road, exit 87. Accident has been cleared, I-20 eastbound Broad River Road, and also in Lexington, I-26 eastbound Piney Grove Road. Those accidents, again, those incidents and accidents have been cleared. We have the long-term construction, like always. I-20 between 26, that's at 64 and 65. I-26 between Bush River Road, Old Sandy Run Road, and 126 between Hugie and 26. We'll get back in here. Our drive around the SEC is next on the postgame show.
It is Drive Around the SEC time here on this Thursday. Welcome back in. Jay and Terry with you here. Before we get to, because this all kind of blends in together, yesterday we put up, Elijah put up a poll question. How do you feel about corporate signage or logos in college stadiums at South Carolina? A, makes money, love it. B, don't love it, but I get it. C, absolutely hate it. 56.6% of you, he tried to say in English, said you don't love it, but you get it. So well over half on that one. 33.8% say it makes money, love it. And 9.6% absolutely hate it. You were maybe surprised a little by the final number?
I thought more folks would absolutely hate it. So I was surprised that the absolutely hate it was only 10%.
Yeah, I throw out tons of Twitter polls, so this is certainly not being critical. I wish we could find ways to have these be even more scientific.
Sure.
And I think you made a good point off air too. A lot of times on Twitter, and this is globally. Mm-hmm. Trust me, this is globally. I am not going local here. Twitter's become a place where people that are angrier about stuff are venting and voicing and whatnot.
They're loud, very
and so
loud.
To your point, is that all? Look, almost 57% don't love it, but get it, and that's what I think. That's probably where again, people across the college landscape are going to be with this, not just here in Columbia or around the state of South Carolina when it comes to what's happening at Williams-Brice, because this is where we are, and again. You can absolutely hate it times 10, but it's not going back to whatever you thought. And again, there are some college football stadiums that are going to have corporate names.
Yeah.
I don't think there'll be too many in this conference, other than I think Vanderbilt has one, and there's again Kroger Field at Commonwealth Stadium.
Right. So I could see more stuff like that going on, where you don't get rid of the name, but just slap a corporate sponsor on the beginning or the end.
And
I can see that.
That could be coming. I don't think that comes here, but and there was somebody that commented on the station Twitter feed. Nobody complains about Colonial Life Arena.
Mm-hmm. Well, now to be fair, because I wasn't here, obviously when it was built, the new arena was built. Was it originally?
It was always. I think it opened as Carolina Arena, but only because they
hadn't sold it
didn't.
yet.
Yeah, they didn't sell it right away.
I think that's the difference. I think for folks, if something pretty much goes up, and it gets almost a corporate sponsorship name right away.
Maybe it was. Hang on. Maybe it was like somebody help me out. Was it Carolina? Because it originally was Colonial Center, but it was named for Colonial. But that Colonial Life wasn't maybe getting enough. So you needed to make sure that people knew it was Colonial Life.
What
And so that's when it went from Colonial Center to Colonial Life Arena. So maybe it opened as Carolina. And then even, what was
Founders.
Founders initially was, what was it, Carolina Park or something? I mean, it was very generic until they slapped a corporate name on it. And that's not going to happen at Williams-Brice.
Because Williams-Brice has been Williams-Brice for how long, Jay?
My whole life, basically. I think seriously, I want to say, I mean, I was born in 70. I think right around then is when Mrs. Williams-Brice, Martha Williams-Brice, her family was in furniture, and she was like, I want y'all to do something with this. They're like, thank you, ma'am. How about we'll put your name on it?
So basically, it was a person who put a name on it.
Yep.
So it was money involved in putting the name on the stadium.
They were in furniture.
But it was just a different vibe than a entity that is a corporate name entity.
And some places, look, Bryant Denny, obviously that's Bear. Jordan Hare, Shug Jordan. Ben Hill Griffin was a big,
Sure.
And now it's Spurrier Field, I think, at Ben Hill Griffin Stadium, and on we could go with certain names.
I just feel like when you're used to a name for a long period of time, no matter how it showed up, because again, that was a woman giving money to here, and they said, okay, we'll put the name the stadium.
Yeah.
But it's been like that for a long time.
Yeah. They're not going to change it.
So people don't like that type of change when it's been something for a long, long time. I think that's when people resist it the most. It's like, oh, wait a minute, man. Like you said, it's been that name since I was a kid.
Yeah.
I don't want that to change.
And they're not going to change it. And I don't think I
don't think it'll change.
I certainly don't think the stadium name will change.
No.
And I'm not even sure that if you want to slap a field name on there.
It depends on how large the check is these days.
Yeah, I was going to say. I suppose there are lines that could be crossed in the positive sense.
Yeah, if somebody's going to cut you off a nice big check with 7 figures, if your Venmo can go 7 figures, you can put a little thing on it.
Yeah, sports gambling.
Sports gambling. Here's millions of dollars. People will do things.
Yeah.
Yes.
But. Again, so less than 10% of respondents on the Twitter feed hate it.
I tell you, more people went with more money. I love it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Or that was almost 35%. I was surprised that was that. I thought most people would be in that middle.
And they were, and most were.
And second would be the hate.
Yeah.
And then third would be I love it. Just because the interaction we get with people who are hyper
I'll
involved.
tell you, look, when I do my own, I can't vote. But when Elijah does them on the station feed, I can vote. And I voted A. Listen, I love it in the sense that it's been done. And again, y'all, you have to know who you are and where you are. And South Carolina, the University of South Carolina and the state of South Carolina could, do so many great things, but they're never going to be the state of Texas. You're just not.
Just can't be.
You're just not. There is no other Texas. They have more. They got to gob more people. They've got more resources. They've got more straight
oil.
cash money.
Think of oil,
dude, and not just the oil. Think about it.
Energy.
The energy. The ability to ship the oil.
I lived in Houston, man.
Right?
That's right down the road.
I mean, you might put it on you might put it on a train. You might put it on a boat. Right? You might put it in a truck.
There are so many ways Texas makes goblin money.
You got banks that fund all of. I mean, so I'm not here to y'all get it, but I'm just saying. So you got to keep up, and if this is how you have to start doing it, like I've said, I don't know what the market is for patches on sleeves. I don't really. I would be exploring that.
I think for me, in the specific situation,
and do it tastefully, and it's fine.
Sure, I think the specific situation of South Carolina, A is the answer. Let's get the money and do it because you want to keep up and you want to compete, right? Like you said, South Carolina is not Texas.
It's just not.
If it was like, let's say, I'm gonna pick one. Let's say we were having this conversation. There was an iconic uniform, or an iconic stadium, or an iconic field, something where you got like Penn State's jerseys.
Yeah,
you ain't putting anything on that. Right?
I don't think so.
That would be a tough push.
The only thing I could think to answer your question and be serious about it, the only thing I could see if Penn State needed to do it is you take the home jersey, the navy blue, and maybe something
on the sleeve,
only in white
on the sleeve.
Yeah, and it's like maybe some corporate logo or maybe, and then the reverse for the road.
Right.
That's probably about. I mean, they're not going to put. I'm just going to use. Let me think of something real quick. Hess gasoline with the green. They're not going to put a Hess patch on their blue jersey.
I love my Hess truck when I was a kid.
Sure.
Anyway.
I'm just thinking of something that would contrast with that color.
See,
and even then, I don't know if they would go that
And I'm
far.
just saying, for me personally, I'm not a gear guy. I'm not a uniform guy. I'm not one of those people that love this uniform, that uniform. I don't care if you wear a mini skirt and shot blocker pumps. So you're winning games. I really don't care.
Right.
But I know that there's certain fan bases that hold certain things so, traditional in their heart.
Yeah.
And like here, I get it. Those palmetto trees.
Yeah.
What are we doing with the trees, guys? They're important to us.
And they're staying on the field.
And they're staying on the
somewhere.
field.
We're not sure exactly where
But
yet.
they're going to be
but
on
they're
the field.
staying on the field.
So everybody's got that traditional hook that they want to push back on everywhere.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you just got to make money because you got to keep up.
And if you don't, if you didn't hear, like, we're not just saying, don't worry, like, take our word for it. Jeremiah Donati has said publicly in front of God and everybody that palmetto trees and the crescent are staying on the field.
Because I go to another question on a Twitter poll one day. I don't know how to word it. What's more important to you, tradition or winning?
Yeah. Well,
You can't say both.
No, you can't.
You got
Because you
tradition or
can't have
winning.
it both ways, can you? And you can find a way to keep tradition as you evolve.
Yeah. I said this when we were to have that conversation. Just don't stomp on the tradition while you're evolving to make more money.
Fair.
Make sense?
Yeah.
You got to find a way to
real
balance
quick,
it.
I'll say this. There was an uproar. There was a soccer team in Wales that for years and years, like 100 years, was blue. And they had a new owner who was from another country. I want to make him red because red is more powerful. And they ran him out of town. They're like, nah, bro. That ain't how it works. We'll open the vault and do a little Jay versus the internet next. All right, 11 minutes in front of 6 o'clock here on a Thursday. We can call it Friday Eve now. You pretty much made it. Jay and Terry with you here. All right, we got a little backed up today, so we have Jay or Nay and Jay versus the Internet. Which one's first?
Let's do Jay or Nay, man.
All right, let's do it.
All right, let's get this thing.
Yeah.
We just like the game show music. All right, Jay or Nay, really quick. Got 3 of them.
Okay.
All right, the Athletic did their coaching tiers in college football.
Yep.
Coach, Tier 1 is multi-champions.
Right.
Then they went to Tier 2, which is established winners. Now, there's a long list of established winners. We'll get to a couple in a minute. But first of all, Ryan Day is on this list. He is the only guy in Tier 2 who has a national championship. Should Tier 1 be coaches who have won a national championship, to be fair to Ryan Day, Jay or Nay?
So it's Dabo and Kirby, and who was?
That's it.
That was it,
Multiple
right?
Champions, and the only other champion right now, I believe, Ryan
Is
Day.
Ryan Day.
Should he be with guys who haven't won a championship?
No, he's been there now 9 years.
Been a minute or two.
Yeah, Jay. Yeah, because he's been there a while.
He won a
didn't-
national championship.
But you know, a lot of people say, "Oh, you lost to Michigan 4 times."
Yeah, but you've been to the college football playoff multiple times. You won a national
Well, it's Ohio
championship.
State, and he hasn't. You know, look, people might say all he had to do was take. Look, you can still drive a fast car into the ditch.
I have.
You know,
I mean,
so,
I've heard. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Jay. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. To the same established winners list. Should Lincoln Riley still be on this list after what's happened in Southern Cal? Remember, college football playoff, I believe, 3 times at Oklahoma. So far at Southern Cal, just missed the college football playoff and then had 2 very disappointing seasons.
Jay, he is an established winner. Now, he's underachieved relative to past experience and expectation at a fine football school, but he still did the things he did. I mean, if he had turned into some, schlub who was going, 3-9, but he hasn't done that. And I think they're going to be pretty good this year.
They might be a
So, yeah,
sneaky good
he
team.
belongs where he's.
All right.
Yeah.
Next one, established winners. Lance Leipold is a heck of a coach, but he's never had that breakthrough, wow, great season yet at Kansas. Should he be in this list with some of these other guys?
Yeah, Jay, because, and forgive me, what was it, like Wisconsin something and then Buffalo?
He was at Wisconsin Whitewater where he was a dominant coach and won a ton of titles. And in Buffalo, they were ranked one year.
Yeah. So he's an established winner. Now, are we looking for established winner at the highest level for, I think they have him in there for the right reasons. So
He's really good.
Yeah. So
He's really good.
I'm gonna say that he belongs.
I was in
Jay.
Wisconsin when he was killing folks at Wisconsin Whitewater. They won like 60 straight championships or something.
He knows what he's doing.
So you got JJJ.
But he
there.
just needs to get some players at Kansas, man.
Yeah, he'll get there. I think that guy, either he'll get there at Kansas or somebody else is going to throw a ton of money at him at some point.
Well, I mean, yeah, before it's too late.
Yeah, he ain't a youngin' anymore.
Yeah, so that's all. But he's a winner.
Yeah, he
Just
is.
like Signetti. I win. Google
By
me.
the way, Signetti's on the list too.
Let's see if they.
Jay, I mean,
Yeah, all right.
he's a winner.
Yeah.
All right, Jay versus the Internet. Your boy Bryce Elder taking the ball for the Braves tonight.
Oh boy.
Bryce Elder, 6 of his last 7 road starts. They're in New York. He has thrown 6+ innings. But the Mets crush him. 292 batting average, 358 on base, 562 slugging, 921 OPS. Bryce Elder, over under 6 innings pitched versus the Mets.
Under.
Going under? All righty.
Oh, you gotta give me all those bad numbers.
Minnesota Twins.
Trying to have a good day here.
And the Detroit Tigers. Tigers in Minnesota.
Twins still have a team?
Well, not much. Tigers 31-20 on the road. They've been scuffling on and off since the break. Twins are a surprising 32-25 at home. Detroit -205 on the money line. Minnesota +170 on the money line. Which one are you going with?
Tigers.
Tigers -205. And we love the total base game.
Uh-oh.
James Woods for the Nats. Kyle Schwarber for the Phillies. Woods on home an 837 OPS. Schwarber on the road a 914 OPS. Who are you going with total bases?
You know how I like to approach these kinds of things.
Yeah, scientifically.
'Cause I hate the Mets and I hate the Phillies.
Give me Schwarber.
So you're going with your head, sir. Is that what you're telling me?
Well, I mean, it's not unheard of for Woods to be
Woods,
okay.
nice young player, but Schwarber's going crazy this year.
He has. I see. Again, why are you? You and Elijah get together, right? And you come up with ways to just twist the Phillies Mets knife, right?
Are you saying we enjoy torturing you?
Yes, Jay. Yes, exactly what.
So you're going Schwarber of the Phillies.
Yes.
What team do you hate?
Yes.
And you're going against your Braves tonight to go with who?
The New York National League Baseball Club.
You're thinking with your head, not your heart. You've come a long way, Jay Phillips.
And the Braves are playing better.
Yeah, look at you.
So, we'll see. But you know what? Go Braves, man. And go Nats. And I'd rather be wrong. I'd rather be wrong. This way I hedge my bets.
Nice work, my
Thanks
man.
to Julia Westerman for joining us. For Terry, I'm Jay. Have a great remainder.
Oh, it's Wood, not Woods. James Wood. I said Woods.
Well, he's the actor.
He's the actor, right?
Yeah.
He's the actor.
Later.
See ya.
And one last word for our good friends at Integrated Media. Listen, we're very near the start of football season. Officially, for you, week 0 aficionados, that's like just over a week away. If you're like the rest of us and you'd rather wait for week 1, well, you still got 2 weeks. But now's a great time, regardless of what you like, to call Integrated Media. And the pro season starts, in 3 weeks. So you still got a little bit more time for that, too. 803-948-8327. Let me speak for a second about their outdoor setups, because a lot of you have asked me about that in the past. Listen, there are now outdoor televisions and speaker systems that truly do, I'm not kidding, look and sound just like anything indoors. And they're built to be